Welcome to my studio today. My name's Nancy Curry and I do projects on a regular basis for StencilGirl. So today we're going to take a look at working on tile with a mixed media approach and some interesting casts of characters. So what I have here is just a tile that does not have a huge coating of gloss on it. You can find them in your big box Lowe's or Home Depot. I've probably had this one like 15 years. But it also, and I probably can't show very well, but it does have a little bit of texture to it. So today we're going to play with this. We're going to play with Nitram, a charcoal company who has liquid charcoal and also has a powdered charcoal, and we're going to use both of them for this project. I'm going to throw in a little bit of golden carbon black, high flow, and of course a stencil. So I'm going to start by laying a little bit of a background just with a watercolor brush using the liquid charcoal, and I'm just going to kind of spread it around. It's going to make just a white background, non-white, and it's a little bit lighter than the powdered that I will activate, so you get a couple different shades going on, or tones. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and use a hair dryer. I don't have my heat tool around here. That would work too. I will probably fast forward through some of this and catch you on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to give this a little squirt. This is your powdered form, and you're going to see right away, I'll kind of show you here how much darker it is than what I just put on the actual tile. So we're going to go in. This is a stencil by Jennifer Evans, S908. Obviously, I've used it before. I did a practice one. And I'm going to start by just using, and probably will stay just using, this one section of florals. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to lay the stencil down. I'm going to grab some more water. I want this pretty wet. And I am just going to go over this stencil. The charcoal seems to really soak up the water, so you'll see me re-dipping. I'm going to try not to go up to the edge, so it'll be easier to blend the stencil when I move it. And once again, I'm going to dry. I'm going to be repeating the same process, so I will probably speed this up a little bit, and then we'll get to the next part. Okay, so I have an initial layer on here now, and you can definitely tell it's abstracted flowers. You can tell that there's stuff that's still wet, but that's okay because we're going to be doing a little something here. This is an additive and a subtractive approach. So I'm going to take just a spray bottle of water and I'm going to spray a tiny bit on, and I'm going to blot. And I love using paper towels with some kind of imprint on them. Because you will get some of that on there. For those of you that have never seen anything from me before, I love any kind of visual texture I can get. All right, so I'm kind of happy. I've lightened up some of the areas. Kind of happy with that. And now we're going to go to the second round. Let me get this stencil not so wet. And I'm going to go in onto the back of the stencil, the part that's going to sit on your tile, and I'm just gonna paint on here and use this as a sort of a stamp of some sort. My background years ago was in rubber stamping, so I can use just about anything to stamp if I want to. I'm going to put this down. Let's go in that area, and I'm going to blow dry again. Let's see how that looks. I'm trying to add a lot more line in this time, where you just had an abstract impression in the first layer. Now we're making some lines. I'm going to go ahead and do this once more. Helps if you have a wider brush, definitely helps. If you had a brayer, you could also brayer it on. So let's go. I gotta remember where I went. Okay, so let's go up here. I'm gonna use this and get some really good pressure. I did that in the middle of the drying time. Let's get some good pressure. Now I'm gonna dry. You could do all of this by air drying as well. There we go. I got a little bit more of an outline. Alrighty. So I think I'm going to try to take off a little bit more of some of these areas. So I'm going to go back in with my spray bottle. I really want to definitely create some lights and darks. It's a busy piece, but we're going to make it even busier. So, oh, there we go. Took off a lot there, but there will be something coming. Something right about there. Okay. So now I'm going to go back in And we're going to go in with the carbon black golden. We're done with the Nitram right now for the moment. And we're going to go back in and add. And I'm going to do it with a cosmetic sponge that I'm going to tear into a little bit. Okay, gonna pounce. Then I'm just gonna pounce it to the side so I don't have too much on. I'm gonna go up in that area I just cleared a little bit of. I think I'm gonna add, and this is the beauty of using a stencil, I'm actually gonna add another petal right up there just by turning it around a little bit. There we go. All right. I'm just going to continue this process down. So I'll be speeding the video up as well. Something else you can do if you want to remove color, just like I did with the spray bottle, you can actually go back in before this is sealed and remove in other areas. I didn't feel like that center looked like a center. It sort of looked like just a wrong way car crash. So I'm just going in with just plain water. Well, it's dirty water. And that created a much better middle. Back to adding flowers. Okay, so you can start to see that your earlier layers kind of recede, and definitely the carbon black is stronger. If you want a little bit more of the noise in the background taken out, you just go in, spritz, and take out as much as you want. This is all in, it's in the artist's hand what they want. So the next part of the process I like to do is I like to add some splatter. So I will start by splattering with, let's see if I can get it ready, with the carbon black. I think I'm going to go in with a smaller brush, but it's now ready. I'm going to wet the brush a little bit. Everybody has their own way to splatter. This is how I do it. If you have a lot of water, you'll get bigger. I tend to like to splatter in the centers and get it as close as I can. But I also like it a little wonky. Let's see if any of this gesso is good. I was gessoing this morning and did some splattering with it, so let's see if I can liquefy that enough. Let's see how this goes. More gesso on it. You could use white paint. I do not like this blob. So I'm going to try to take it out. And if that doesn't work, I'll figure something else out. Okay, so how do I deal with this? Thinking on the fly. It always happens when you're filming. So I'm going to actually go back in. I don't like that either. It's a conundrum. All right. I've got my watercolor brush very, very dry this time. It's going to spread a little bit. Then I'm going to dry it. Make that look like some stems. And with it a little bit dry, I'm going to go in just with a tiny bit of gesso. And get 3 little dots there. You could continue to play with this. You can always take off until you go to seal it. I use Kamar varnish to seal, and I do 3 different coats, very light coats, and then I finish, actually my Kamar is out in the garage, I finish with a Krylon UV archival. And I'll probably pick satin, that's what I have handy. And I would do 2 coats of that. Make sure each coat dries in between. And I hope you enjoy this. I'd pop a plate holder hanger. You can buy those on Amazon. And I picture these as some wall art, maybe as a grouping. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.